Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our preview for the Blacklist Season 9, Episode 11, titled The Conglomerate, because there is nothing that sounds more intimidating than the word conglomerate. It sounds like something that makes you fall asleep during a business meeting. Like, what is the show doing here?
Yeah, they've been bringing on sort of a lot of doctors this season and a lot of groups of people doing stuff. We just saw that last episode with everything that was going on with the arcane cell phone, deal that was happening there.
Like, at least you guys put arcane in front of the cell phone. This feels like they were having a meeting in the writer's room and they were like conglomerate at the top of the whiteboard and was like, okay, everybody, we need to come up with a different name. And then they got distracted thinking about like something else that was going on. And then they just forgot to actually come back around and do it. And this is what we're stuck with.
Yikes.
All right. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but anyway.
Tell me how you really feel, Matt.
Conglomerate as a name sucks. This episode may not suck. This episode may be very good. We'll get into it. But of course, hit that subscribe button. We will be here after the Conglomerate airs to break down whether or not this name and organization is actually decent. And we don't want you, of course, to miss any of that or other previews or coverage of shows like Snowfall or Power Book 4 Force or Killing Eve.
And thank you so much to everybody that did go over to our Instagram. Matt and Jess TV is the handle over there, and gave us a follow over there. As you guys know, it was my birthday yesterday, and that was what I had wanted. I really wanted to grow our Instagram, and so many of you went over there and followed us, and I can't say thank you enough.
Thank you. Now, okay, here's what the Conglomerate supposedly is. I will just say this. They are apparently at one point tied to the government. They have some assassin-like tendencies, so maybe they are cooler than the name suggests, and they will obviously be roped into the task force somehow.
But they will not be as cool as the 12 and their group of assassins going on over on Killing Eve, which we are also covering here.
Okay.
You want a good assassin show? That is a great assassin show.
How much money do I need to pay to have Villanelle and Reddington in the same room together?
Oh,
that's
a duo I didn't know I needed.
I know, this is the crossover that is now in our head. Where do you guys want to see Reddington crossover with? Let us know in the comments.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Okay, the Conglomerate, it's not a great name, but the idea of having like a group of assassins together that were formerly sponsored by the government, so lots of money and training and time went behind them, could be pretty terrifying.
There's potential here when it comes to them being sort of a dangerous blacklister group. A lot of times we don't really know this until we see it. It's kind of like the Osterman Umbrella Company was pretty high up there when it comes to dumb names, and they were pretty intimidating.
No, that was the same with last week as well. I wasn't really sure when I read the synopsis. I was like, okay, it's going to be a cell phone company for criminals. But I mean, twist at the end of that episode was super satisfying. It was really good because I was just like, I didn't see it coming.
Okay, so we have all of this that's going on, but I think the thing that most people will probably be more excited about is it sounds, based on the synopsis, like we are actually going to revisit the night of Liz's death, and Reddington is going to do some more digging into trying to figure out how in the world Van Dyke ended up being there.
I'm very excited about this. Since they brought this back into the show, it's been the thing that I've been the absolute most just invested in, because it's bringing back, even though Liz is not on the show anymore, it is bringing back that dynamic between the two of them and that closeness and that love and just sort of that hurt that's been passed back and forth between the two of them that just makes this show so good and meaty. And, we're not going to hash over what our theories are. You guys know what they are, who we think is behind it. But every little step that gets us closer to knowing what's going on, Marvin,
Baker,
is really fun. This is a really good mystery. And it's one that I think we're actually going to get an answer to.
Yeah, and I hope we get it sooner rather than later. Like, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say we're going to get it in this particular episode.
We're only in the middle of the season. I feel like maybe they'll wrap this up by the end of the season. This does not feel like a mystery that can go on longer than this season.
No. Like, this this is what I personally want with some of this. And I think there's at least a slight chance where maybe like 4 or 5 episodes from now, we'll actually find out the truth about who was responsible. But from there, we may be able to get a good 4, 5, 6 episodes. It's kind of like seeing this person and Reddington go head to head. Like, let's take a theory that's not one of our two. Let's say that Neville Townsend is still alive, and that's revealed in like 4 or 5 episodes. Then we really get like substantial time to see him and Reddington square off in a new environment. I don't want this to be one of those situations where they reveal it, I don't know, in like episode 20, and then we have like an episode or two to deal with it, and then that is it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it over a couple of episodes, but I could see it going the way that you just said. I mean, it just really depends on who it is. Like, if they bring back Neville Townsend after not really mentioning him all season long, like, I was pretty interested in the idea of that and that theory, but now that we're so deep in, if he just pops up in like the final reel and is like, hey guys, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm responsible, I'm just going to be like, wah, wah, wah. Like, come on. No.
I think the most important thing here is the writers have to remember that, you know, we're always on a journey with this show. And anytime you're on a journey, like let's say you're walking somewhere, you want to continue to walk at the same speed. You don't want to, like maybe 10 minutes into the walk, just stand in place for an hour and just like look around, because that's not getting you anywhere. And I kind of feel like in the middle of some of these seasons, they do that.
And Brimley's back. We're this far into the video and we haven't mentioned it yet. There are photos of him out there. He is going to be back in this episode.
I love Brimley. I love Brimley with the camel, which is apparently what he is pictured with.
Yeah, he's got a camel. He's got some buckets. Like, it all seems like it's going to be rough for whoever's on the receiving end of what's going on with this camel. And that's one of the things that they do so well with Brimley is obviously we never see what he's doing, but he'll always bring out like this really weird thing with his goats, his camels, some buckets, and you're just like, up to imagination, all the best to you. So after seeing that picture, I was just like, I do not know where they're going with this, but it doesn't look like anything great.
I have so many different questions here. Okay, question number 1, are you guys team goat or team camel? Let us know in the comments. Also, I want to know where there is like a camel trainer in like the New York area where like they called and were like, hey, we need a camel. And then they try to explain the scene. And then the camel trainer's on the other line being like, wait, you want to do what with the camel?
Okay, the other thing about Brimley and him coming back and stuff like that is we don't know why. Like, we know that there's going to be this whole conglomerate going on here with this episode. Is he back to get information from them? But we also know that Reddington is going to be getting closer and closer to getting some answers about what happened to Liz on the night that she died. Maybe Red actually has some sort of a lead on that, and he's brought in Brimley to get some answers with his camel and these buckets, and it's hard to know. But if I had to give a guess, I think it's about the conglomerate. I don't think we're going to get that close to answers or anything like that in this episode. We're only like barely into the halfway mark here. There's still so much more of this season to go.
Yeah.
That I don't think Reddington's going to get that far yet.
Okay, so one of the other questions I think that comes up with all of this is Brimley going to go after someone we know, someone we've seen already? Yeah. You know, we already saw what happened with him in Marvin in the past, and like that's obviously one of the big components to your theory about Marvin being the one who betrays Red, because he's really upset, obviously, that what happened to him in the past.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's actually why it also puts Marvin in this really good spot to go undetected, because Reddington usually has a blind spot for people that he trusts, people that he loves. He just looks kind of past it. And because of what he and Brimley ended up doing to Marvin, now Marvin, I think, Reddington just feels this undying like regret
Yeah.
of what he did and how he treated Marvin, that he owes Marvin, and he does. Whether or not Marvin is betraying him or not, Reddington knows he did him really dirty after years of service to Reddington. So, I don't know.
It's probably going to be a new character that he's going after. And ultimately...
No, I don't think it's going to be Marvin again.
No. I think it's probably for the best. Because when he went after Marvin, I was actually kind of sad. When he goes after people that are just like total like red shirts, it just makes me laugh because Brimley is so weird.
Yeah, he is. I truly think it's just going to be about the case of the week, and it's going to be someone to do with the Conglomerate, something that Reddington needs to know.
Okay, so here's another little bit of bad news. There is probably not an episode of the show after this Friday. Last time we checked the listings, it seems like we are getting another hiatus right after just getting the show back, and all of a sudden NBC is going to punt us off a cliff again and make us wait for more good stuff.
No, it sucks. But I mean, we're gonna still be here every single week, bringing you Blacklist content like we have for years. We are here with you. We feel the pain of it, but we will continue to bring you new videos, even if they don't have a new episode. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are here for you. We all in it together, guys.
Thank you guys so much. We will see you here next time.